So, post-World War II, Europe was trying to pull itself together, and this dude Schumann, called him Robert, was thinking really hard, and one day he was just like, yo, make war not only unthinkable, but materially impossible. And then he called up his friends. One of them didn't answer though, was talking about national sovereignty or something. Anyway, he shared the info, they agreed, and that was in 1952. There they created the European Coal and Steel Community. What were they thinking, you ask? Well, France is like, Germany needs a leash, I'ma put that leash on you, friend, we're doing this for the betterment of the world. And then Germany's like, we wish to reconnect with all of you. And then Italy, this is what we aim for, la, Mussolini was an asshole. And Benelux is just LMAO, we're trapped for laugh because geography. So, moving on, 1957, two things happened. First, the founding members went to Rome and signed the Treaty of, wait for it, Rome, which created the European Economic Community. Economic integration is the way to go to reach political union. Then they created Euratom for the development of peaceful uses of nuclear energy, because what the people, why can't we all just get along? So transition to the 60s and the European Free Trade Association was founded. It's like the EEC, except without the political commitments. The UK was a co-founder. And then in 1961, the UK, Ireland, and Denmark requested to join, but Charles de Gaulle was like, no UK, ho 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 ho, baguette baguette, you decide to join us now that we're flourishing? I think not. Wait 12 years you mother. And they did wait 12 years. 1973, Denmark, Ireland, and the UK officially joined. 1981, Greece joined. 1986, Spain and Portugal joined. And then in 1991, the Treaty of Maastricht was drafted, talking about economic and monetary union. And then in 1993, it was officially called the Treaty on European Union, which established the EU. Hella confusing, right? And then in 1995 came Sweden, Austria, and Finland. 2004, Cyprus, Czech Republic, Estonia, Hungary, Latvia, Lithuania, Malta, Poland, Slovakia, Slovenia. 2007, Bulgaria, Romania. And then in 2013, we have Croatia. And that adds up a total of 28 countries that make up the European Union. Okay, so next we have two theories explain how the EU's regional integration would end. First is the federalist perspective, which says that they basically see the United States of Europe happening, but they didn't explain how. And then we have neo-functionalism, which explains the process of the integration, but not what the end will be. LOL. But disclaimer, there are unintended results from the neo-functionalist perspective, aka functional, which says that states have to do other functions to meet the first intention. So like we have political spillovers, where political leaders shift their allegiance from the state to the institution, and cultivated spillovers, where institutions become a product of functional intention. Stages of integration. So first, we have ad hoc cooperation, which is created for a specific purpose temporarily. Then FTAs, which lower or eliminate tariffs and import quotas through preferential treatment or common external tariff. Customs union is the better version of an FTA because it also imposes a common external tariff on non-member states' imports. Common market, aka the free movement of labor, capital, and resources, and is strengthened by a customs union. And then economic union, which is common market plus key policy areas, requires formally coordinated monetary and fiscal policies. Lastly, we have political integration, where sovereignty is handed over to the new state. How does the EU make decisions? Through ordinary legislative procedures, so European citizens elect the people they want to be in the running to be in European Parliament. And they approve EU legislation with a big rose up there, aka the European Council. So the best of the best! The EU institutions, let's start with the executive branch. First, we have the European Council, who sets the agenda, and their final word is the law. Its weight is equivalent to the European law. The twin brother of the European Council is the European Commission, and he's the serious bro, man. Like, he ensures the application of treaties and policy regulations and checks if the EU law is properly applied, while also administering the EU's budget. Once a commissioner, you can't be partisan, man. You gotta be independent from your country because you are now bound by treaty. And then legislation is handled by the Council of Ministers, who exercises day-to-day legislative and budgetary functions, and the European Parliament. And then we have the Judicial Bros, aka the Court of Justice of the EU, who ensures that treaties are interpreted and applied correctly with the help of 28 judges and the General Court, who hears and decides most judicial cases. So unless your crime is fucking bad, you stay here and not go up to the ECJ. Next, a story about the monetary union. The Treaty of Maastricht gave birth to the euro, but it was only introduced in 1999 and had its baptism in 2002 after they released the notes. Not all members of the EU use the euro. The Eurozone has 19 out of the 28 members using the same currency. Using the euro apparently made their lives easier because it removed exchange rate risk from businesses and financial institutions, but it also removed the ability of the member states to push their monetary policies. So like, the European sovereign debt crisis was brought to heel by the financial guarantees by European countries because some countries were scared that the euro and the IMF would go downhill from there. The answer to that was like rich EU countries saved Portugal, Spain, and Greece's assets from dying from debt. LOL. Now people are wary of them because their tax is going to them lazy motherfuckers. Well, Greece was busy spending euros without actually doing anything, LOL. Welfare is also known as a government-issued program or benefits for their citizens. Yay, you have free education, unemployment insurance, etc., etc., etc. And then you have the welfare state, which is like a country with a really, really good government that provides a really, really good welfare system, like Sweden and Norway. They have benefits like pregnancy leaves for both parents, which can go up to like more than a year of paid leave. Lucky. The problem with some Europeans is that most EU countries have more old people than young people, so what happens is that they have less money for welfare benefits, and the solution to their sad population is to accept migrants, but they think immigrants take away their social benefits and are living off their hard work, like what the fuck. So without the migrants who work, the workforce will be smaller, aka decreased ability to support social security for them. Basically, the Schengen zone is like everyone in the EU minus the UK and Ireland, plus Switzerland and Norway. If you have a Schengen visa, feel free to travel around the Schengen zone. We know the Schengen zone is very good and very nice, but Europe has an issue with immigrants. Dun dun dun. The problem is that immigrants in Europe increased because the EU gave its orders to accept incoming immigrants, and people now fear that it could drain the state's budget and cut the social welfare system. On top of that, the rights of migrants are difficult because of the current economic dilemma in the EU, and many Europeans are unemployed and being sold as fuck to migrant workers. So to avoid some serious catfight, the EU added more joint rules, but having rules is one thing and implementing them throughout the region is another thing.